Good afternoon, everybody. This is Kevin Davidson, and this is the Kevin's Corner podcast, the second episode. So I appreciate you guys tuning in and listening. I'm going to do this every week on Friday at 3, get them ready to go on over the weekend, and then post them the next week. So you can look forward to this every week. The reason I do this is because I want to give the agents in Fort Bend County that I work with and the vendors that support us an additional platform to promote their business and whatever it is they do for the real estate industry. So that's why I do the podcast. I also want to mention that Stuart Title, Sugarland and Richmond are my supporters. I have 4 escrow officers, 3 in Sugarland and 1 in Richmond. So if you need good title service, we can also help you with that. But in saying that, I'd like to introduce you to Shiva. Shiva is a real estate agent here in the local area. Why don't you tell everybody who you are and what you do?
Hi. So, everyone, thank you for watching. I am Shiva Sadek. I'm a real estate agent over 4 years. I have worked, I decided I want to stay in Sugarland, but I ended up going all the way from Conroe to Lake Jackson. But I'm very glad to be able to work with people. I convert my clients into friends, and I love that about my job, that I meet new people. I help them achieve their goals, and it definitely my job, my cup of tea, I can say.
So you said from Conroe to Lake Jackson?
Yes.
So you go anywhere? Oh my God!
Anywhere. I'm showing homes tomorrow in Pearland. So
even with the gas prices where they are? Wow. You're showing a home in Pearland?
Yes, tomorrow.
That's where I live.
Oh, I'll come say hi to you.
What time?
Okay, that might be a problem
because
problem. We start at 9 a.m. So
I won't be home till 1. So.
I am definitely flexible on time and places I go, because I want to be as accommodating as possible for my clients. Awesome. They are definitely my priority. Their goal is my goal.
Awesome. So how long have you been a real estate agent?
A little bit over 4 years.
Okay. And who's your broker?
My broker is Kiani Realty. I have an amazing broker. She has been top producer in Houston 2 times. She's very motivational. She's a perfect support that any agent would like to have.
You said she's a top producer 2 years in a row.
2 years in a row in
Where
Houston.
Where does she close? You knew I was going to ask that question because I don't remember seeing her come through here.
Okay, so she lives in Houston in Post Oak, so and that's where our office is. So probably that's why she didn't come.
Okay, no problem. We need to get her on the podcast.
We will do that. Definitely.
So first of all, tell everybody a little bit about yourself. Obviously, you don't have a American accent, so tell everybody where you're from and how long you've been here.
Sure. I was born and grew up in Iran, in Middle East, and then I migrated to India. I lived in India 5 years, and then after that I moved to Twin Falls, Idaho, out of all the places. Yes, it is. And then I moved to Las Vegas, Nevada.
Wow.
And yes, it is Nevada. If you lived in Nevada. If you don't, it's Nevada. And after that, I moved to Houston 8 years ago actually, and I love it. I think I'm not going to move again.
Were you a real estate agent elsewhere or just in Houston?
Just in Houston. I was a banker at Bank of America for 7 years. But I did not enjoy it nearly as much as I enjoy being a real estate agent.
What made you decide to become a real estate agent?
You know, when I was exploring, I was going to college and I wasn't sure what I want to be. And 99% of my friends told me that I should become a real estate agent because I'm good with people.
Yeah, people tell me all the time that I should be a teacher, and I tell them I am. I teach CE classes. So it's not what
Yes.
they meant, but so what do you how do you see the current real estate market right now for you, in your business for now and in the future? What do you think is going to happen?
The real estate market is always good, especially in Houston. Houston real estate is bulletproof.
Really?
I see that in the near future, I'm going to form a team.
Really?
I'm going to form a team and bring people, more people under my wing and grow together.
So you heard it here, folks. First on the Kevin's Corner podcast, Shiva's hiring.
Yes, contact me.
Are you going to get your own broker's license, or are you going to stay with Kiani?
No, I'm going to stay with Kiani because
Okay.
I really enjoy working with her,
Mm-hmm.
but just form my team, not a brokerage.
Okay. And so, what do you specialize in? Do you like to do listings, work with buyers, renters, investors?
I look at renters and rental listing as a service to the community. Many agents don't spend their time on that, but I take everything, including rentals. If there is a renter, if there is a rental listing, or sales or buyer, I take everything because I enjoy helping people. And that's my goal. And then money comes after that.
What do renters turn into?
Renters turn into buyers.
There you go.
Yes, I educate them to landlords, close your ears. I educate my tenants. Don't pay your landlord's mortgage, pay your own.
Okay. there
Don't
you go.
hate me though.
No, there you go. So, what this podcast is real estate from a marketing perspective. So, what do you do marketing wise for your business to grow?
I talk to Kevin. If you want marketing help, talk to Kevin. He's a guru. And I do whatever he says. I do my Monday live podcast on Instagram, every Monday at 7 p.m. You can follow me, Home by Shiva, in Instagram and Facebook, and watch my Monday podcast. I do TikTok videos. I do live videos. I do what it takes to get your business.
So you do a lot of videos with a mutual friend of ours, and we'll go ahead and mention her name on this podcast, Nas.
Yes.
She's with a mortgage company, but you guys have been able to figure out how to create an entertaining but educational TikTok videos.
Absolutely. And that is not only fun for us, but also it's a fun video for our viewers to watch, as much as they have fun with it and laugh, but they learn something every time about real estate or lending industry.
Plus, it's entertaining to watch. So
Exactly.
I don't do those kind of videos, but they do. They do a good job at it. So.
Thank you. Thank you.
So what area of town, I know you said you do everywhere from Conroe to Lake Jackson, but what area of town do you specialize in?
I mostly specialize in Sugarland because I live in Sugarland, Richmond, and parts of Katy. I'm very familiar with those areas. But if it happens that I have a client in Pearland, then I go educate myself enough to be able to know ins and outs and educate my client and give them the best advice.
So what do you have to do to prepare for new clients? I mean, what kind of, do you have to, get yourself acquainted with the area and things like that? I mean, what is it that you do to prepare for your day?
So, first of all, I go to the gym, come back, shower, and get ready no matter what. Even if I don't have any appointment, I still dress up and ready every day. When I have a new client, I met with a new client yesterday. So first I go meet them, explain the whole process to them, educate them about types of loans. I know it's not my job, but I still have to educate my client. So I explain types of loan, how long to expect this process to take, and all the questions they have, I answer all of that, and it will happen again along the way that they will forget and they ask those questions again. We determine which areas the client wants to purchase, and then but it is a very high possibility for people to change their mind. They want around 3-bedroom minimum and this area, and then they change their mind based on different facts that they find out about the original idea they had, or their criteria may change. So, but basically, when I meet a client, I will be able to tell by my gut's feeling that if that person and I can work together.
Right.
And I always tell my client, if you somewhere along the way, if you decide, you don't want to work with me, maybe I'm not the right type of agent for you, by all means, you can tell me, and I can do the same thing. But after we start hunting, usually after a few houses that we look at, I learn about them. I get their taste, exactly what it is. And I will send them listings that matches their criteria, and they choose amongst those listings and say, Shiva, can I look at this? Can I look at that? And then we'll of course, submit offers for the houses that they choose, which takes a lot of strategy.
So what kind of a client do you like to work with? Do you prefer buyers, sellers, leasers, investors?
Like I said,
All of
I
them.
have all of them. I even have a listing of a business that I'm selling.
Commercial.
So commercial too.
Oh, wow. So Shiva's a jack of all trades. She knows she can work with all of them. So is there something about you and your brokerage that might be coming up, or something special about you that you want everybody to know that might be watching this?
So yes, I am going to form my team. Watch out for me, for my team. And we are going to expand our Monday podcast to post it on my website. I'm going to open a YouTube channel. I'm going to have a platform. I have not decided yet where, but I'm going to have a platform that we can discuss real estate, agent to client. Whatever the question or the topic is, but agent and clients can discuss, and they can ask questions, or they can get clarifications.
Like maybe on Facebook Live, and people ask questions, you answer them right there, and things
Exactly.
like that. Yeah.
Exactly.
And so why is it important for you to do these podcasts and these videos and things like that?
Well, one thing is it's a good outreach to the community. Secondly, it is educational. I have had explain about the buying process, selling process, about the how you protest your taxes, how can we save you money on your property taxes. I have had insurance agent on my podcast. These are all the information that helps you make the best decision when you are purchasing a home, because it's the most expensive purchase you do for most people in their lives.
Most important
financial
you're gonna
decision.
make. Yeah. So I remember when I took out my first loan for the house that I'm in now, for like 6 months, I was scared to death, sweating. I'm like, I just borrowed $100,000. How am I going to pay that back? But you just do it. It's an investment. So, so how can everybody get a hold of you?
So you can call me at 702-577-8131. You can reach my Facebook. You can text me. You can reach my Instagram. My Instagram and Facebook is Home by Shiva. And I have a website also is homebyshiva.com. You can text me, email me. My email is shiva@kianirealty.com. My website is homebyshiva.com, and my Facebook and Instagram is Home by Shiva.
Why don't you spell Shiva and Kiani Realty for people so they don't get mixed up trying to find
Sure.
it?
So Shiva is SHIV like Victor. Many people think it's a B. No, it's a V like Victor. A at KINAI Realty, REALTY.com.
Give them the phone number one more time.
702-577-8131. If I call you, don't hang up and think somebody is calling you from Las Vegas. It's me. I kept my number.
She's from Las Vegas, guys. Awesome. Well, thank you very much for being here.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
All right, guys. We're back. Kevin Davidson, Kevin's Corner. Real estate from a marketing perspective. And this handsome gentleman I got here sitting next to me is Mr. Jim Greene from Greene Air Technologies. Introduce yourself, Jim.
I'm Jim Greene with Greene Air Technology.
And what do you do? That's what I meant.
I am the stinky house guy. Cigarettes, cigars, cats, curries, cadavers, doesn't matter what the house smells like, we can fix it.
What's a curry?
A spice generally used by the Indian folk and Asian, Southern Asian cooking. Yes,
So
things
you
like
can get
that.
that out,
Yes,
huh?
we can. Yes.
Wow. So how long have you been doing this?
We've actually been doing this. Coming up, September is going to be nearly 20 years for us.
Wow.
So I
Congratulations.
personally have been doing this for 7 years, but the company as a whole has been going for, in September will be 20 years in the Houston area of deodorizing houses.
So what do you operate all over Texas? Just Houston? What do you?
We are now pretty much a Texas-wide entity. We used to say we covered all of Southeast Texas, but we're kind of now a Texas-wide entity thanks to many realtors who like to branch out into other cities.
Do you if you have to leave the city of Houston, do you put a premium on that trip?
Of course we do.
Of course,
absolutely.
We do. Yeah, gas is not cheap.
Gas is not cheap, so but we're always worth every penny of what you spend. So,
So you're the guy that goes into houses when someone maybe has passed away and they got all kinds of stuff that's been there for 30 years, or they have been in the same house for 30 years and they smoked every day for.
yes,
I mean, you can clean all that up.
we can clean up anything. We like to say if you open up the front door and you've got to turn around because it smells so bad, then you give us a call and we'll take care of it. But we do specialize in hoarder houses, and for some reason we do get more unattended death calls than probably anybody else.
Really?
Yeah.
So what is that like? I mean, knowing you're going to a house where there's a dead person in it, but I mean, when the first time you had to do that, how'd that affect you?
I stunk for days afterwards.
Oh
It really, I know it can affect some people, but I stay prayed up, so that doesn't bother me. So that stuff doesn't bother me at all.
So witnessing or seeing dead bodies didn't bother you?
Well, when we get on scene, the body's always gone.
Oh, okay.
So now
It's just the smell that's left
there's
behind.
well, and in some cases, we like to say the job that really got me into the crime scene side of things and cleaning up nasty things. We always like to say that the coroner actually left us more than he took, because we had quite a mess to clean up.
So do you get calls from the local police departments and stuff?
We don't. No.
So how do you? Who calls you about a dead person?
In Texas, it's incumbent upon the property owner to take care of whatever problem is on their property.
Oh, okay.
So the state will only come in if it's a hazard to the neighbors or something like that. But in 99% of the cases, it's up to the property owner to get their property taken care of.
Oh, okay.
And since nobody's going to buy that property unless it gets cleaned up, then then they bring us in.
Yeah, and then the realtor's got to disclose it on the agreement and stuff like that. So right.
So it only has to be disclosed if it's a murder.
Oh, really?
Yeah, in Texas, it only has to be disclosed if it's a murder. If just because somebody dies in the house, that does not have to be disclosed.
Shiva's over there in the corner shaking her head, so I guess he's right.
So, well, I mean, you think about a city as big and as old as we are, with the exception of maybe every house built within the last 10 years, probably somebody has died in every house in Houston.
That's a positive way to look at it.
So
let's go house hunting.
So if you had to disclose that on every house, then probably nobody would be able to sell a house.
So can you give the audience an idea of what the worst thing you've ever seen in going to clean a house?
The worst thing I've ever seen was the job that got us into the crime scene cleanup portion of this. It was and since you asked, I'm going to go ahead and tell you.
Yeah, go ahead.
So the neighbor kindly filled me in on everything that had happened because the nephew who had called me only gave me the minor details. Mm-hmm. But basically, it was the end of June. Guy had passed away, and he was a hermit. He didn't have any family, never married, never had any kids. And didn't really talk to the neighbors. And it was only after his nephew not being able to get a hold of him for 3 weeks that, he was a police officer in Michigan. And so he called the Harris County Sheriff's Department to do a welfare check. Mm-hmm. And the neighbor told me that when he kicked in the door, he immediately passed out because he was overcome with hydrogen sulfide poisoning. Oh, wow. Because the body had been in the house for 3 weeks in the summer with no electricity, because when you're dead, you don't pay the bills. Right. So, so his body just cooked in there.
Oh my gosh.
And on top of that, once the coroner came in, this is I know this sounds funky, but it's what the term is a bloater. And they cannot transport a bloater. They have to decompress the body.
This has turned into a podcast. I didn't know what direction we were going.
Yeah, well, because it'll explode in the van. The vibrations of the road will cause it to explode. The gases, so they, and I hate I would hate to have been the guy that discovered that. Yeah. But this is why I say we're pretty certain the coroner left us more than he took, because it was about a 10-foot wide pool that we had to clean up in this house in order to get the odor out.
So let's switch subjects. So I noticed on Facebook that you also, when you do these houses, sometimes you find really cool things.
We do. We find a lot of cool things. So a couple of weeks ago, we were down in Bay City working on a job that a realtor had referred to us. Thank you, Ann White.
Free marketing.
Yes.
Close it, Stuart Title.
This was a class. This was a level 10 hoarder. There weren't even goat trails. You were walking over everything in the house. So the the son had hired us to clean this out after his mom passed away last year. Mm-hmm. And he was certain that there were documents in there that would be important. And we ended up finding him documents that give him rights to probably millions of dollars worth of oil here in Texas. Wow. There's oil interest all over Southeast Texas in these documents. So, and on top of that, we found a lot of cash and a pretty fairly large coin collection. I always love finding the coin collections. That's my thing. So
you like to walk around with silver in your pocket.
Yeah, I like to have some silver on me all the time. Yep, absolutely.
So so how does that work? If you clean up a house, it's empty, you find something of value, are you allowed to take it with you, or what's the process for that?
So what we do is we go in with the homeowner first, or whoever's hired us, and we ask them, is there anything in here that you want saved, or is there anything particular you're looking for? Mm-hmm. And if there's not, then basically everything at that point, if they a lot of times they just say, hey, we just want everything gone. Mm-hmm. they don't care what happens to it. They just want it gone.
They don't want to deal with it.
They don't want to deal with it. So,
Right.
Sometimes we find some cool things. Now, if we find something particularly valuable, then we're going to alert the person that hired us, because it's not ours. We don't want it. So,
Right.
now in a particular case, like in Bay City, we found the coin collection.
Yeah, that's what I was looking at.
I knew that because of everything else that we had found, that the guy that had hired us probably didn't want to mess around with dealing with all the coins, because they did all need to be sanitized because they were in a rodent-infested house for years. So I made him an offer for the coin collection, and he accepted the offer. I ended up upping my offer after doing an initial cursory look, because I did find one particular coin that I knew to be of $250 value, and so I just automatically gave him another $250 off on his bill.
Okay.
So yeah, we don't cheat anybody out of anything. So
And so you had been telling me about the. I think you were telling me that you had been bringing some more team members on.
yeah, we've got a pretty healthy crew now.
How many people you got?
So I'm taking on a new partner. Her name is Heather. She's with the Houston Fire Department, has been
You
for
told me
30
about
years.
that,
Yeah,
yeah.
she's a captain with the Houston Fire Department. Tim is back on our crew, thankfully, done with surgeries, and he's back to work now. And then we've got Mario and a couple other gals working with us as well. So the company's growing, and this year has just been absolutely fantastic for us.
Why do you think that is?
I think just because more and more people are I think we're gaining popularity because more and more people know who we are. I'd like to say it's because of my marketing, but we both know that that'd be a lie. So because I don't really do any marketing other than.
I was going to ask that question, but you just answered it for me.
Yeah,
so-
I don't. So my favorite form of marketing is what I would like for myself when somebody markets to me is food and booze.
Yeah, wow.
So I like to wine and dine realtors, and that's about it. That's and you all see me on Facebook, with my wacky posts on there about the crazy stuff that we're doing.
Yeah.
So that's what I do for marketing, and it works for us. We've been. Like I said, we've got a 20-year track record now, nearly 20-year track record of working with realtors in the Houston area, and I myself 7 years, and so you don't work in this business, this is this is one of the biggest gossipy businesses there is. Yeah. And so if you don't do good work for somebody, it's going to get around real fast.
Of course.
And even though I'm not the biggest fan of big, huge organizations, I somehow seem to be the darling of horror when it comes to talking about stinky stuff. So,
Well, I mean, you got the word out. Everybody knows who you are.
right. So I am the Stinky House Guy.
Sneaky house guy. So what is? And you and I have been working together for events and stuff for a few years.
A couple of years now. Yeah. Yeah.
So, you operate pretty much everywhere in Texas. When are you available? I mean, are you 9 to 5, or can agents call you?
I wish I could be 9 to 5 now. No, we are 24/7 availability.
24/7.
I go to bed at 10 o'clock at night. I'm up at 4:15 every day. I'm in the gym at 5:30. And my trainer's there, and this is my daily routine, and then I'm pretty much ready to go by 7 a.m. every day. But sometimes, 3 nights ago, I was in bed, I was sound asleep, and at 11:45 the phone rang, and this was not what we would typically classify an emergency call. The lady's dad had died. And they discovered him, and the body had been in there for about 5 days, and so the house was fairly smelly, and they wanted to get that taken care of. And I was like, well, this isn't an emergency. Can I call you in the morning? We'd really like you to come out now.
Yeah.
Okay, well, sure, absolutely. And it just turned out she lived right down the street from me, so it really wasn't a big deal.
Now, had the body already been removed?
Oh yes, yeah,
so when you
no.
did
So we never go in until the scene has been cleared.
Okay.
It doesn't matter what has happened, even if the coroner rules on site, okay, this is what this A, it was an accidental death, or B, it was natural death, whatever. Until the police clear the scene, And if it's a death, the police are going to be on scene.
Of course.
So until the police say, okay, we don't believe that there was any foul play, then nobody else goes in that house. Right. And then once they clear the scene, then we can go back in.
Yeah, because they don't want you tampering with evidence.
Yes.
Accident and things like that.
Right.
So.
And we have found on a couple of scenes, we've actually had to stop our cleanup twice to call the police back out to pick up evidence that we found that they had missed.
Okay. Is there, and this is probably a loaded question, but is there anything that you won't clean up?
Not yet.
Based on the things you talked about today, I would suspect no, but I had to ask.
So I will tell you, we did 2 months ago, I walked away from a job.
Really? I
did walk away from a job. There was over 100 cats in this house.
Oh my gosh.
And I had actually asked the client, the guy, the investor that bought it, I said, don't gut this house. I can fix this. Don't gut this house. And he's like, no, I'm going to go ahead and gut this house. And he went ahead and gutted this house. And he was right to do so. But even then, I still couldn't fix it. This was so bad that,
really?
that the smell had permeated the studs.
Yeah, it had gotten in all the way down to the bottom.
Yeah, and so in 20 years, now I can say in my 7 years, this is the only thing I've ever walked away from. I just flat out told the guy, I'm sorry, I can't do this. I'm not charging you a dime. Mm-hmm. I spent 2 weeks working on this house.
Wow.
And it was just that bad. And I'm pretty sure it's permeated all the brick. Mm-hmm. So apparently I do have limitations. I hate it, but.
And so how do you charge by the job?
Yeah, it really does go by the job. I mean, I do have a square foot price for basic things. Cigarette smoke is, that's generally a basic price. Pet smell, general pet odor, not urine, but general, they had pets in here, that's generally 65 cents a square foot. Mm-hmm. Smoke is generally $1 a square foot. But anything else beyond that, I really always want to see it because I want to come in and I want to give you the right price. Because I don't like going back to customers and going, hey, I need to get some more money from you because we didn't quote this right. So once I give you the price, that's the price and we're done.
Okay.
Even if I have to lose money on it, which I have twice. So
you work with real estate agents, and you've been working with them for about 7 years. So if you're a real estate agent out there and you're looking for someone like Jim to do what he does, I've known him for several years. Everybody in the industry knows him here in the Houston area. How do they get a hold of you?
The best way is to give me a call at 346-254-9217 or 713-303-9393.
And you have a website?
I do have a website, greenairtechnology.com. And then our crime scene cleanup is HoustonCleanResponse.com.
And what about, can they reach you via email?
They can reach me via email, jim@greenairtech.com. Nobody ever reaches me by email, but if you'd like to reach me by email, please feel free. I do check it daily.
Awesome. Is there anything else you'd like the audience to know about you or your services real quick?
No, not really. I'm just
covered it all?
Generally a cool guy.
With a cowboy hat?
Yeah,
Real down-to-earth guy.
We do what we say, what we're going to do. We get it done. The biggest thing is we can help you get that house sold faster and for more money.
There you go, and that's the bottom line.
That really is the bottom line. So we keep a lot of houses from being sold to investors.
The investor is the one that's going to gut them and
right.
Right. Okay, I get it. So awesome. Well, thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me
on the podcast. So my name is Kevin Davidson. This is Kevin's Corner, real estate from a marketing perspective. If you are watching this and you're an agent or a vendor in the Houston area and you want to be on the show, give me a call, 832-654-0527, or email me at kevin.davidson@stewart.com. And don't forget, I have 4 wonderful escrow officers, 1 in Richmond and 3 here in Sugar Land that can close anything you got. We'd love to work with you. Until next week, have a good week.